Jeff, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Could we start with a fairly basic question? Tell us about your guy, the guy you play in this film.
I play John Scully, who Steve brought in from the Pepsi company. John had been a very successful CEO and marketing guy at Pepsi, and Steve needed that. And the young SteveJobs also, as Scully later finds out, needed a father figure. And they came on. The first couple of years, it was this. There was just such a wonderful marriage between two guys. I'll do the business, you do the visionary, you do the, and then Steve made a decision, Scully made a decision, a business decision, to save the company basically, and Steve never forgave him. So then it becomes this kind of tragic fall for Scully, because even though he was right, believed he was right, had the board's backing that he was right, Steve still destroyed him. So it's very Shakespearean in a way.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
You presumably met Mr. Scully?
I did.
And what's that like when you've got that real guy that you're going to portray? Is it slightly intimidating meeting him, or how does it work?
It's first of all, it was a pleasure to meet him.
Right.
You cherry pick things. You're studying him like a shrink would study a patient, and you get him talking, and he's telling you about what it is, and some of it is exciting because he's on a movie set about this, and he's talking to the guys, and some of it is revealing. And what I took away from John, even though he's doing very well now and sorted other companies he's working with, the pain was still there. The breakup with SteveJobs, and as we say in the movie, the things we could have done together, because they did not. That once they parted, they never came back. And I think there's a hole there with Scully that he's recovered from it, but there was a period of time where this wasn't just a job. This was important and personal, and I don't think he'll ever get over it.
Now, you've worked with Aaron, of course, many times. Tell me about working with him specifically on this. I mean, it's a fantastic. The dialogue is extraordinary in this. Does he come on set? Is that how it works? Is he around when you guys are filming?
On Newsroom, he did the same thing on Jobs he did on Newsroom. He's there first thing in the morning. You go through it. You kind of go, and he may add, remember that's important and that's a joke, and great, all right. And then he's gone. He's back at his hotel writing his next movie. And he gives you the freedom, with Danny Boyle's help, of course, to do what you think it is. Arthur Miller said, I look forward to seeing what my work inspires in others. Aaron's like that. And you hire good actors and a great director, you're in good hands. But you want to see, you don't want them to do it exactly like you would do it as you wrote it. You want to see what they would do with it that maybe is even better. And Aaron's really done a great job at that. It's
a great ensemble piece, I think. Did you enjoy making it? And now what's it like now that it's out in the world and getting such positive feedback?
It's a thrill to make because, much like Newsroom, not everybody can do this. Not everybody can handle Aaron Sorkin. You can be in an Aaron Sorkin movie, but can you get on top of all that dialogue so that it's just falling out of your head? And that's a lot of work. A lot of work. Fassbender and Kate and Seth and everybody just killed themselves. And that's what you have to do with Aaron. We did it on Newsroom. There is no shortcut to this. So it really felt like only good actors need apply to this movie, and that you were chosen as one. But now you got to do the work. And that was thrilling. And once the movie comes out, it's interesting. This happened with Squid and the Whale back in 2005. I was at the New York Film Festival. We were up in one of those royal boxes, and 1,500 people, and they all clap for us, and they sit down, and they're going to watch the movie. And we got to sit up there and watch the screen and watch the people, and you realize the movie's not yours anymore. At that moment, it becomes theirs. And there's nothing, I don't have an attachment to it. I mean, I remember, is that good? And then you look down to see if it was good by their reaction. That's the definition of whether you pulled it off or not. And you never know that until you see them see it.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
It is very interesting.
I wish I could go to a movie I was in, good or bad, and just go, oh my God. I mean, is everyone seeing how brilliant this is? And it's never that. It's always detached.
How would you describe it? It's not a biopic, is it, Jeff? How would you... It's kind of Aaron's sort of take on Jobs, do you think? Or how would you describe it?
Yeah, maybe it might be Aaron's take on him. Oh, I wish... It's so dense and so full, a story and a script. He was such a complicated guy, Steve Jobs was. And he surrounded himself with very rational people who could get him. He wasn't an idiot. He knew he needed those kind of people around him. Scully was one of them. I think it's more of a, I don't know if it's a biopic, because we do a lot with, we put, you know, we took Walter's book, and where Steve said things to Scully, we're shooting them in places where he didn't say them. And so we took, you know, creative liberty with that. And that's why you see them at 3 different launches. So we did a little bit of that. Danny Boyle made it a Danny Boyle movie. You know, it's so exciting. And Danny kept saying, you know, you want to see the monitor? You want to see video? You want to see daily? I said, no. Well, you all right? I said, yeah, I just want to see it when you're done with it. Here's what I'm giving you. Can't wait to see when you've done all your work. And that's the thrill of being with a filmmaker like Danny Boyle, because when you see it, you know you're in a Danny Boyle movie. Only Danny could make this kind of movie, this way.
Put these guys into context. What do you think history will write about them in maybe 50 years?
Well, they certainly are people much like the great industrialists or the guys who invented the railroad, or, you know, Gates with the original computer and all that. They changed the world.
They really did, didn't they?
For better or worse, you know. Go out on the street. I wish Steve could come back and we could talk about that a little bit. You know, where you're sitting in a theater or something and you're having people, you know, just going, Steve, this is a problem. Let's see if we can't fix this.
Yeah.
No one's paying attention anymore, Steve. Was that the idea? You know, I don't think so. I don't think so. And you know what? He would come up with something to fix that.
He would, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Can you remember your first computer, Jeff?
Yes.
Mac?
It wasn't a Mac. I went to Mac later. I had a big box IBM, God, whatever it was, HTT, DOS. Oh my God, it was like flying the shuttle. I couldn't. And then friends of mine, and I heard all the creative types, the artists, you know, the designers, the writers, they were going to Mac. And I go, what, Mac? But only, at the time, 7% of the country gets a Mac.
Yeah.
And it was so easy. I mean, it was, you know, as Steve said, you point and you click and there it is. And he dumbed it down for people like me, so that now I'm able to use a computer like I used to use a typewriter.
Yeah.
I used to fly on that thing. Now I love my Mac Air. I'm on airplanes and I'm writing another play, and so to have that Mac Air, it's so convenient. It's like it's a wonderful typewriter for me.
It really is.
If that's all a computer is, I love it.
Thank you so much, Jeff.
Very welcome.
Thank you.